Let's stop donating blood. I'm not talking about the blood banks. Please donate there. I did last week. It was awesome. What I'm talking about is these stinking mosquitoes, and they're everywhere. Literally, it's Virginia, August, hazy, hot, and humid, and I'm wearing long sleeves because of the stupid mosquitoes. And yes, I know they feed the bats, and I wish I had more bats to eat them, but I don't. I don't want to spray. I don't want to walk through a haze of chemicals in my yard. I don't want my kids or my dogs or my cats to. And I don't want it all over my vegetable garden. So let's talk about getting rid of these mosquitoes naturally and safely for everyone but the mosquito. There are a few things that we need. The first are buckets. You can use the big 5-gallon buckets from Lowe's and Home Depot. You can use empty 5-gallon paint cans. A neighbor of mine is a big bird person, so she drops off these empty buckets of bird seed. And about every week or two, I'll see a new one sitting in my garden for me. So that's what we're going to use today. We're going to start with that. Second of all, seriously, there are mosquitoes right here. Let me introduce you, if you haven't yet seen them, let's do a zoom here. These are mosquito dunks. They are, you see that? Yeah, I just got them off Amazon. I'm sure that they are at Lowe's and Home Depot. They are called mosquito dunks. That's the brand name. Kills mosquitoes before they're old enough to bite for organic production, which is what I am aiming for. They call it biological mosquito control. You put one or half of one of these, depending how big your water space is, into whatever standing water you have on your property. In this case, we're going to create the standing water to attract the mosquitoes. If you have a bird bath, drop one in. If you have any kind of water features, drop them in. And what's interesting about them is they're not going to kill the mosquitoes. They're going to kill the larvae before they're mosquitoes. And they don't seem to kill anything else. We have our buckets. I'm going to spread them out. And then after that, we're going to add rottable stuff. So if you have weeds, this is a great time. I weeded the yard with a bunch of stuff, and we are literally going to use this and put it in. We're going to add water and a dunk and distribute them around the property. That's it. It's that easy. We will do 6 buckets. I'm going to use 3 of these mosquito dunks and break them in half. You replace them about every 30 days, 45 days, or in my case, whenever I happen to remember. I pulled a bunch of stilt grass. That stuff is terrible, but just going to throw some of that in. I did some other weeding. Unfortunately, in this particular case, it's a little older, so it's already going gross, which I guess that'll accelerate my process, but it's kind of gross. Each of these buckets is going to have a stick of some kind, just tilted against the edge, so any critters that are not in our sights can climb themselves out. Little mosquito larvae, not going to climb out. Let me get a little bit more vegetation. I just did a bunch of quick weeding. We are going to distribute this into the buckets. The goal here, nothing has to be pretty. I don't care if there's dirt on the bottom. We are just looking for something that will rot nicely and easily, especially in this Virginia summer. That disgustingness of rotting vegetation is what is going to attract our mama mosquitoes. All I'm doing is pushing this down in, so I've got vegetation that's ready to rot. Like I said, I have a stick in there, so the other critters can escort themselves out of the mosquito death trap and live to see another day, but not the mosquitoes. My understanding how these things work is there's some kind of an enzyme. I don't know if it kills the larva or if it disrupts their growth cycle. I don't know. I don't feel like I need to know, as long as I'm going to believe and trust the science, which is my tendency to do if it's legit science. Now we need 2 things. We need a piece of this, and we need water, and then we're just going to put them around the property. I'm going to put half, approximately half in each. Precautionary, hazardous to humans, so don't breathe the dust. Keep it out of your eyes and wash your hands. Just going to drop in each. Next, I will add water and spread them out on the parts of my property that I particularly dislike mosquitoes. We are only going to fill these maybe half full. The rain will fill it up at some point. You may find that your buckets, after you've left them alone for a while, may overflow. Dump out a bunch of the water, add a new dunk, and carry on. If all the rot has rotted, add more stuff. All right, let's add some water. This is my garden, which continues to go bananas. It's been awesome. And this is where I tend to get bitten the most. So I'm going to put a few of these out behind it. Yes, I know it's woods. Yes, I know it's a lot of green stuff. Yes, I know it's a lot of moisture. That's the problem, right? And that's what mosquitoes love. You can see I have an old dunk here. I am going to dump out some of that water and just pop a new biscuit thingies in there. But for now, I'm actually going to set this one a little bit further back, away from where I'm going to be. Actually, right here's a good spot. Ta-da! So no one's going to see it. It's not going to bother anybody except for the mosquitoes, but hopefully it'll be a very attractive place for all these mosquito mamas to come and try to start the family. Bless them. I wouldn't say these are particularly pretty, but they are fairly effective. And I like that they're not spraying chemicals all over my property. Now let's distribute these in the back of the yard. Next target at the other end of that garden. As far as I'm concerned, I can't have too many of these by this little garden area. This is from last year. You see the bright orange Home Depot. As a side note, if you're enjoying these videos, I'm a new tuber, just trying to figure it out. I would very much value and cherish a like and a comment and subscribe if you're so inclined to see more of my Northern Virginia garden ramblings. This one is going behind the blackberry and raspberry space. What I like about these containers is they tend to blend into the setting, the scene behind me. All right, this is that orange one I showed you a second ago. Bright orange Home Depot. That's why it's behind a tree, because I don't really want to see it. We'll break the gunk in half and throw it in. It'll dissolve itself. I don't need to stir it. Going back, this is my Isle of Death behind the garden where everyone likes to bite me. Guess I'm just that sweet and tasty. All right, this is last year's. Throw it in. Voila. I won't bore you with distributing the rest around the property, but thank you for joining me. I hope you found this useful, and let's get those mosquitoes. Seriously, what a pain. Cheers.